Brian.
Yo, yo.
Hey,
What's going
the
on?
beta ended today. Oh, Brian.
Yo, yo.
Hey, Brian, did the beta ever start for you?
No.
Because somebody took your code, didn't they?
Don't want to name names. No,
Yeah, don't.
I remember you had I don't want to say you lost yours because you found them, but they were misplaced. But yeah, and then you were like, oh, I'll give it, you found them, so you're like, oh, I'll give them back. And at first I was like, I won't even be able to play till Friday anyways, where it's like a free, the beta was open at that point. And then I never jumped in. I was kind of half busy, half playing other games. So it just never came around. But I got to see a lot of streams and a lot of tweets, a lot of tears, a lot of smiles.
Well, hey.
A lot of... there was just a lot. There was a lot. Which is a
good
good thing. I mean, it's better than, like, radio silence. So, yeah.
And we're going to talk about all of that. But first, the Lootcast starts now. What is going on? Welcome to episode 107 of the Lootcast. I'm your host, N64 Josh. I've got Destinaut with me, and we got Destiny to talk about tonight. But before we jump into it, guys, if you would like to get yourself a free audiobook from Audible, you can go to audibletrial.com/thelootcast, and there you can pick from like 30,000 books. I know we say this every week, but there was a preview for Ready Player One that I was like, oh, I'm so excited.
Did you know that the logo is a maze?
It is, dude. Yes, that was so crazy. Yeah, so awesome.
Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah. So, anyway, so I started listening to that book for like the third or fourth time, and I gotta say, like, I'm more hyped about the trailer now, because at first I was like, there's not much from the book going on, like. It made me nervous, but hey, there you go. Ready Player One. Highly, highly recommend. It's really a fun listen. So it's audibletrial.com/thelootcast. Check it out. Also, we have a Patreon. Patreon.com/thelootcast gets you an extra Destiny podcast each month for $1 or more. Patreon.com/thelootcast. And if you love Nintendo as much as Brian and I, go check out our Nintendo podcast, the Nintendo Powercast. And there you'll hear us talk about Nintendo and all that fun stuff. So check that out. Guys, we do this show live, twitch.tv/N64Josh. We may be changing times. It has been 7. We may move it to 6. Because Brian has a new work schedule, and we got 2 shows we have to do. So we may move it ahead an hour earlier. But next week, I'm on vacation all week. So we're going to skip the show next week. Now, last year, we skipped an entire month, and I completely killed all of our downloads. And they never quite recovered. So we're only taking a week off. We're letting everybody know that it's only a week. So,
and what I'll probably end up doing is... I don't know about for both time slots next Tuesday, but what I can do is I could probably jump on and stream, an hour or 2 on Tuesday. So, and while we're doing that, we can kind of, show light it, kind of, Maybe we can just talk about current events, and we can throw stuff out there, Maybe if there's any new news, we can just kind of, hear about what you guys have to say about it, and, like a Q&A type of thing with each other. Like we're family.
Sweet. So do you want to do that on my channel? Your channel?
Yeah, I already got the key in there. So we'll just do it, same bat time, same bat channel.
Okay, perfect. So there you go. Destinaut's gonna take up the torch. There just won't be an audio podcast, so don't trip. All right. Or maybe there will be if it's really good.
To upload it to YouTube.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, unless it's 2 hours long, that might take it forever.
Right.
It'll be exclusive. Either you're there or you're not.
Yeah.
And you can mock everyone that wasn't and be like, dude, it was so good. You should have been there, but you weren't.
Josh wasn't there. It was really good.
Go sit at the other table.
We should do this more often without him. Yeah. So, guys, we're live right now, twitch.tv/N64Josh. If you're here with us, Henny, Church, Captain Logan,
Alka-Seltzer
Teeny, welcome. Yes, we are family. Thank you guys for being here with us live. We do appreciate it.
But you won't catch me saying fam. I'm sorry, I just won't.
I
Or
got
if
you,
you
fam.
do catch me, maybe there'll be a special prize.
There
If I
you
say
go.
fam lit, I don't even know the rest because I'm so old. Yeah. It'd be like
Yeah.
Pee Wee's Playhouse. I'll say one of those words, and everyone will be like, ah!
The magic word. Bruh, this
Newcomers will be
family's
like, what
lit
is
AF.
going on?
Google
AF.
Pee Wee's
There's a new
Playhouse.
commercial where they use all those like catchphrases. It's like for insurance. I don't even know.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So Reaper Miss Prime's here as well. How's it going, buddy? Thank you guys for being here with us live. So we are going to chat about Destiny. Probably going to be a little bit of a shorter show tonight. We don't have a guest with us, and we're just going to kind of discuss the beta. Destiny 1 is basically on its way out. Like you only have like another week to be able to finish up your Age of Triumph book and get your shirt. So if that's something you're wanting, make sure you get on that. Do not wait any longer because it's going to be right around the corner. If you're wanting to get the 5,000 grimoire, I don't know if there's an actual cutoff date for that. But
the cutoff's
they're
for the
ma-
T-shirt, right?
Cutoffs for the T-shirt.
Yeah.
I have a feeling you can still complete your Age of Triumph, but don't quote me on that because the tweet I saw from Bungie today was you have a week to get the shirt. So I don't think they're gonna I don't think the book closes and you can't finish it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. So if
Well,
if there's
we've seen
something
it different ways.
do it.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah. If there's something you want to do, I've seen it different ways in different games. You know, like when a certain game ends, you know, like a part 1 or a part 2, and a new game comes out. Sometimes it's just like it just never gets updated ever again. You know, so maybe that book will be, you know, just there. You know, forever. And if you complete it, you complete it. Obviously, you don't get a T-shirt or anything like that. But or they'll end it and. I don't know. Destiny 1 ending is going to be kind of weird in a sense, especially I think on the console side, because how often is there these very large open world games that just end, yet I can still go to like GameStop and pick it up and play it.
Yeah, it's strange that there's
Yeah.
certain things that are ending, like trials and challenge modes and things like that. Although I don't know that they're ending if it's just they had to be done before the book. That's what I'm wondering about. So Henny's asking if I finished. I have not finished yet. I may have my son finish up stuff for
You
me
pay him
tomorrow.
to finish your book for you.
Be like, just finish this,
Wow.
please.
Wow.
So blame
stay in
Splatoon.
kids'
I didn't
school.
play and blame the beta. You know, I didn't play any Destiny 1. So
I blame Splatoon for nothing except for my happiness.
oh, Henny says the challenge modes are ending also. So it sounds like a handful of things are ending. So if there's stuff you wanted to get done, we got 2 weeks left for trials. I don't think Timmy's gonna be getting flawless. So, and one more Iron Banner. So, yeah, guys, if you haven't completed that stuff, get on it. Get on it. So, let's see. So, Destiny 2 beta. You didn't play. but
Everyone
you did.
loved
You were
it.
mentioning.
I went online.
You watched.
Everyone loved it.
Oh, really?
No.
So
It's the internet.
right. So what? I don't know. What do you think, man? What?
Well,
I know you didn't play, but you watched a lot.
No.
So
watched
where
a
are you
lot,
at?
Read a lot. When it comes to the PvP, well, I guess when it comes to the entire beta in general, from what I understand, it's an old build because a lot of people were like, "Oh no, this is going to be the final game, and this is what we're stuck with." Let's make every gripe under the sun to get them to change it in the first patch. That's the consensus of what I saw on Twitter for the last week. But I also saw a video. We were talking about this prior to starting the show. I saw a video that was dated like 3 days before the beta dropped. And this guy had, you know, because we all know that the Striker Titan has a a roaming super now. But what he did was he was running. He had his super activated. He slammed the ground. He got up. He did like, he meleeed a guy, like just punched him. And then he shoulder charged a third guy. And I felt like in the beta, the super didn't seem to last that long,
At the reveal, is that what you're talking about?
Well, either the reveal or the beta. Like, it just seemed like he was supered for a very long time. And then he went on to mention how he's like, yeah, I got 6 shots with my golden gun. And then the biggest concern I heard from golden gun from the beta was, oh, it's useless. Unless there's like people directly in front of you right when you pop your super, you don't have time to like hunt these people down and shoot them. So what I was watching in this video that had come out right before the beta was that this guy was excited for Destiny 2 because all the supers seemed to be more on a timer as opposed to, oh, you get this many shots or this many slams. It was more of a, hey, whatever damage you can do within this set amount of time, that's what your super's active for. So the video that I watched that had come out prior to the beta seemed to contradict what I was seeing people do in the beta. So there was a lot of talk, online, and who knows if all of it's true or if any of it is true, but I heard that this build that we got for the beta was an old build of the game.
Correct.
And what we're going to be getting on even day 1 is going to be different from the beta already. Like they don't even have to do anything day 1. They could drop this game right now and it'll still be different than the beta. So if what this video that I was watching is true and more up to date than the beta, I don't think people have anything to worry about as far as that goes. I know the other big concern was recharge times on like grenades and abilities. That's a whole other thing, and I think Luke Smith has even addressed that. So, but just so there's that stuff. There's all these like what ifs right now floating around, and people not knowing what's true, what's not true. We won't know until September. But what I heard from PvP, I'm not worried about. I heard PvP felt like either some people said like, oh, this feels like Halo, or not Halo. This feels like Destiny, which is good because it's Destiny 2. I mean, I guess it'd be worse if this was Call of Duty, and people were like, this feels like Destiny.
Yeah.
So just saying Destiny 2 feels like Destiny 1, it's not a bad thing because it's a continuation of part 1. Even though I still feel that I would like to have seen more changes. I understand why there isn't a complete 180 overhaul. So for it to be, okay, this is like Destiny 1, okay, that's cool. Because the people that like Destiny 1, that means they're going to like Destiny 2. I also heard it feels a lot like Halo. I noticed it seemed like the time to kill was a lot higher than Destiny. Like pulse rifles weren't killing in like 3 pulses. And maybe if you have all headshots, maybe.
If you can get 3 headshots, I believe you can pull it off. But there was definitely more of an emphasis on team play, right? As far as playing as a team.
Yeah, if you walked around a corner and there were 3 people there, I saw some videos of people going all ham and wrecking a whole team by themselves. But 9 times out of 10, a guy walks around the corner, there's 3 guys standing there, he's dead. Which, let's be honest, in my opinion, that's how it should be. Unless you're just crazy good or you're a hunter, you interchange those.
Yeah, I mean, it's like even the Titan, you try to throw that wall, the animation is so slow. That is not a panic deal. That is a strategic deal. Like, hey, I'm going to place my wall now. Not, hey, I'm getting shot. I'm going to place my wall. You're done for.
Yeah.
You're done for. It's not working out. So,
so the PvP side though, I'm not worried about. I think it looks fine. I think it looks good. It seems to have good pacing, I would say. At times, it looked like it could be frantic. So I think that's good. So I really don't have problems. The part that a lot of people seem to have the problem with was the PvE. They felt like, oh, this beta is just for PvP, not PvE. PvE seems to get left out in the cold. It's like, well, they gave us one story mission and a strike, so I don't think Bungie's concerned with testing their PvE side of things, you know, which is probably why we didn't get PvE. Plus, what happened with Destiny 1? We got half the game, and people were like, oh, we got half the game. So stupid, you know, so... But I think in general, when you're talking about, and this isn't just video games, I think when you're talking about the masses, I just always have that, you know, idea that like the masses don't know what they want. They say they don't want. They say that they, you know, they're like, oh, we don't want easy games. We want challenging games. And then Dark Souls comes out, and everyone goes and plays Candy Crush. So, you know,
it's funny this week. Like I listened to the Jam with Goth and Broman and Kevin, and they were talking about this very thing. Like as far as like Destiny 2 looking like Destiny 1, you know, and I mean, yes, it does, but everything felt a little more alive and a lot less flat to me. Like even looking at the farm for the app for like I was only there for like 15 minutes, not even 10 minutes. It was like there's nothing to do in here really, just to go check it out. But everything looks just a little more vibrant. You know, I don't know, like I loved seeing like the red all over the map and the control map that we played. There was like kind of some red vegetation around and stuff. I like that. I like that. It's different. And so, but they also talk too about like about that whole thing of like how hard is this game going to be? How long are we going to have to grind? Like, I have a feeling that there's going to be like, story aside, what's the grind going to be like in PvE? Like, if it's as fast as Destiny 1, I'm sorry, but I'm going to say right now that this, unless you play PvP, we're all going to be pretty disappointed because we leveled up so quick for each of those DLCs and everything. Like that stuff has to stop. And as much as people that aren't hardcore are going to cry, this takes too long. It's the way it is. Like it's just the way it is. This game needs to be somewhat of a grind. You know, some people were talking about how the drop rates in year one were too slow. Right. Well, it was more exciting every time you got a drop because guess what? I could care less when stuff was dropping in the last few years of Destiny because it was like, I have it. Oh, I have 7 of those. Oh, look at my vault. I have that. Like we were getting loot everywhere. And I think having that little more of the carrot on a stick keeps us coming back for that end game. So the other thing that like I have it for later on, but Henny just posted in the chat right there, over 50 cutscenes in D2 and Destiny 1 at 45. Well, and that's all of Destiny 1. So they added cutscenes for Taken King, Rise of Iron, that kind of stuff. So
I'm guessing you're not talking pre-rendered cutscenes. Are you talking like even in-game cutscenes too? Because that seems like an awful lot. I thought rendered, like like the pre-rendered stuff that looks all super cinematic. I didn't think there was 45. Get back to me, Henny. Is that pre-rendered? Because if it's pre-rendered, that's a lot. Jesus, feels like Final Fantasy if that's the case. But the in-game cutscenes, or in-engine, I should say, I can see that.
Well, and the other thing too, like Logan's talking about World of Warcraft, and it's my understanding that Luke Smith came over from World of Warcraft, and he worked on something in the World of Warcraft called the Scarab.
Okay.
And I'm not familiar with this at all, right? But from my understanding, from listening to the Jam, listening to Goth talk about it, he was like, I want something like this in Destiny to that is extremely difficult, and you have to have a high level team. It sounded like something that was like almost like a really hard raid.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't just something that you could easily. It's a raiding dungeon. There you go. So, I mean, I may be the minority in this, but like it's a 40-man raid. Oh my gosh. Well, that would be crazy, but that'd be crazy fun, especially since we can have 24 people in the tower now. Maybe even if it was 12 to 18 man raids, it would be great. But there's got to be some things like all the extra stuff they're adding in PvE it really has to deliver. It has to deliver. We can't have things that just look like a glorified patrol. Like there has to be reason to go and do patrol. There has to be reason, strikes are strikes. Some people love just grinding those things out, and that's fine. Like I don't think that's necessarily for me, but that doesn't mean they're bad, right? It just means I'm not like huge into just grinding strikes. Like I can do like 4 or 5 at a time, but like when you start getting Omnigul over and over again, I'm like,
it gets old fast.
Yeah, exactly. So
well, as far as like giant raids like that, as far as Destiny goes, I say, why not make something for everybody? Okay, so you got the people that want to do solo, great, they can do solo. Then make some stuff a little bit harder. Obviously the strikes. Okay, now that requires a 3-man team. Then you got the weirdos that go in and solo it, but I'm just talking about the average player. But, okay, so you got a 3-man activity. And you got raids, which they haven't confirmed anything yet, I don't think, but that's a 6-man activity. A 40-man activity, that'd be kind of crazy, but why not make something that's even a 9-man activity or a 12-man activity? Like, I know there's limitations to what, these consoles can do, so maybe that's part of it. But yeah, I mean, because that's kind of like when you start getting up into that level, it's like end game, end game for your end game, type of thing.
Right.
So, yeah, I can see why they would want to limit it. I'm not sure that's why they limited PvP from 6-man to 4-man. I'm sure that frees up a ton of resources when you got 4 less people on a map. So yeah, I'd be down with something giant like that or crazy like that.
And it would have the thing is like one. I'm saying what Goth was talking about, how he wants to see something of the level of the Scarab or whatever, and I don't even know what that is. I don't even have a reference point for that, right? But if there was something that would allow us to go in with 12 people, I don't know that if it was a raid, it would have to be something that focused mostly just on DPS, right? So that you don't have a ton of mechanics, because like trying to coordinate that amount of people to me seems crazy. And Henny made a point. He's like, they don't do that anymore for a reason, right? Like these massive raids. And so,
but the thing is, people, even though it was super hard, there are people out there that could do it. So I'm not opposed to doing something that's insanely hard. Would I be frustrated if I was really, really, really trying to do it and I never accomplished it?
Because one guy forgets he can self-res?
Yeah, but at the same time, how's that any different from Trials?
Right.
Look how many times you or I or there's a lot more people that probably tried like every single week to go to the lighthouse and never did. Yeah. How can you turn around and just be like, we don't want to add stuff that's too hard? Well, what's Trials then? Yeah.
Yeah, but they have a lot of people that complain about it. And that's the thing. Like Henny says, Bungie needs to not listen to us, the community, not necessarily us. But
yeah,
they need to. They do. I mean, look, it's the vocal minority, right? that ends up changing everything for the majority. And so I think we said it last week, but like we just need to trust Bungie. Like, just trust them. Like, they're game designers. They do this for a living, right? When you have people that are like, well, I only can play an hour a day and I don't get all the stuff my friend gets. Hey, sorry.
Welcome to video games.
Like, yeah, like why do we accommodate that person and then take the fun away from the person that's like ready to, stream this game for 60 hours a week, You
want to know the answer to that?
Yeah, tell me.
Money.
Right.
I think because the more accessible you make anything, I'm not just talking about video games. Anytime you can make your product more accessible to more people, the more people have the potential to buy it. So I get why decisions are made in games. Dark Souls does not, you look at Dark Souls and I'm sure it sells well when it comes out, but then over the long term, compared to a game like Uncharted or Destiny, Call of Duty, Candy Crush, I'm sure its sales are, what someone would say pathetic. But there is a market for it. And I don't know, me personally, I would say the right move is put a variety of modes into your game. Make a activity that's insanely hard. Make an activity that's easy. But I think Destiny's done that already. They made trials. They made the raids. They made PvP. They did, what was the Skolas thing? I'm not even drawing a blank right now.
Oh, the Prison of Elders?
Prison of Elders, There was quite a few activities. And I think the people that complain the most are the people that want to be able to do everything and want to be able to get the rewards for everything. But the issue is everything isn't geared for one individual. Sure, if you're insanely good or you're 10, you could probably pull everything off with ease. But yeah, I'm terrible at trials. I've never really gotten that far in trials, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just more enlightened, so I'm like, okay, it's not for me. I guess I'll never get any adept gear, but whatever. So clearly that part of the game isn't for me. So yeah, it's just, I think it's the people that want everything. It's the same people that got mad when For Honor would require you to purchase like whatever it was, $10 million in microtransactions to get everything. And people got mad and they were like, well, I don't want to have to pay for things. How many? And they calculated it was going to take people like 2,000 hours to get every single item in the game, and they just went nuts. And then Ubisoft said like, well, we never intended you to get everything. You were supposed to pick a character like class and then, try to max that out. And people are like, we don't want to play it that way. Yeah, well, I don't know if they actually said this, but they're probably like, go play something else. And well, people wouldn't play anything else besides For Honor because its community is insanely small.
Right. Well, like Henny's saying, people complain the strike in the beta was too hard, and it's like, what? Come on, like, and Sneaky Sniper says, I love the strike in the beta. The last part of the boss fight was hard, but I enjoyed it a lot. Like, what? Okay, is it all these people that have only gotten participation trophies that are like, this stuff's hard? I need it to like practice, keep playing, like be challenged. Like, it's okay. Be challenged to have to force yourself to get better, to learn the mechanics. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. What fun is it when you are just the superhero the entire time and nothing can stop you? And they've made it very clear that this time around, we are not the superhero as the Guardian. We are the weak link. This is good. But again, I'm afraid that if it's not super easy, if it's not catering to the casual, we lose people. We have people that are like, well, it's too difficult, so I'm not gonna. Well, do something to level up. Go on patrol and get experience. there's ways out there, but I think when there's a basically a level gate, right? Like, oh, I can't beat this because I'm not high enough level. Well, why are they keeping stuff from you? They're not. Just play the game until you can do the stuff.
I'll tell you what, if the difficulty level of Destiny 2 divides the audience and members of the community drop off because they decide that it's too hard and Bungie messed it up and you know, they don't care about the people that can only play for an hour a week. I don't know. Bye, Felicia. So what you're telling me is you're not a fan of Destiny 2, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then, don't stick around and put out vague tweets, because I'm going to start using my hashtag. I'll do it. Josh knows what I'm talking about. But I mean, if you're just going to complain about it, and I know what you guys are saying, like, wait, Destiny, all you do is complain about it, But, it's like, yes, but, I'm looking at it from a different angle than Josh. Let's put it that way. But I think this show would be insanely boring if we were both sitting here and like, dude, you see Destiny 2? Yes, I did. Did you like it? I liked it. Next comment, next bullet point. So, we're just looking at it from two different angles, but, there are legitimately, and you guys have seen them out there on Twitter, there's people that are just like, this is the stupidest game ever, I'm never going to play it. Okay. Okay. Like what, how do you respond to that,
You respond by, just because you can share an opinion on social media doesn't mean you have to. Shut up.
Yeah. But no, it's just, I think if Destiny 2 is a harder game, for whatever reason, whether that be because, like you just said, our guardians are supposed to be kind of like weaker, we've lost our powers. Hey, this game, I think this game has to be harder, because we've already learned the mechanics of this game more or less. I know we have different supers, and I know we have different abilities in this game, but you, me, probably everyone in chat right now, everyone listening as well that downloads this, we've played the game already. We know how to move a controller and what to do with the controller to get our guardian to, dance on screen. If they didn't up the difficulty of Destiny 2, this might as well be like a DLC where you're just like, hey, here's a new level. Here's some new guns. Here's some new grenades. So I think they have to, up that difficulty. Otherwise, I think everyone playing it would just be like, this is Destiny 2. Yep. Okay. I already know how to play this game. I already know what to do. I know how to move in this game. But by giving us these new abilities and maybe changing the movement a little bit and swapping things between classes, because it seems like, a lot of people have said like, oh, I was a warlock, I feel like I just got Titan abilities now, and but it's still, it's almost like they've mixed and matched. Great, make it a little bit harder, because I just think it needs to be harder. It just has to be. And when Destiny 3 eventually comes out, I feel like you now need to up your game again, because now you've got people that have mastered Destiny 1 and you've got people that have mastered Destiny 2, and now they're going to come in with both of those skill sets into Destiny 3. I think Destiny 3 needs to be the hardest game of it all, because you've got people, you've got people that play smarter, play better because of playing Destiny 1 and 2. And if they were just to make it super easy and you just run around and everything's one shot, that'd be boring.
Yeah, I mean, and he says the Halo 2 of Destiny. It would be. It will be boring if it's just like, oh, we leveled up so quick. I think, and people may or may not like this, but the way I played Destiny 1 is, hey, my Xbox was broke, so I got to play about a week behind everybody. So that means everybody was a higher light, everybody had finished the story, and I had to do it I had to do it by myself, right? I had to play the story alone, basically. And that was okay. You know why? Because it was like every time a new piece of gear dropped, I was like, oh, this is awesome. This one looks better. Oh, this is higher stats. You know, it was like all these blues and greens and everything. I was like, every time something dropped, I was hyped, right? And then it got to the point that they just made it rain engrams later on. But basically the way it worked was I finished the story and then, hey, you know what? I need to play PvP or I need to do strikes to keep getting my level up. And then maybe I could go back and do the story missions on hard, right? Or I could go patrol. Like there were things in the world to do to keep leveling up. But it took a while. You had to grind. I wasn't even into grinding. That wasn't like my thing. Like I've always just played first person shooters that were all about just jumping into PvP, maybe doing a quick campaign and being good to go. And here's a game now where I'm grinding to get to level, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it. And I remember we talked about this at length on the Aimcast all the time. Like, you know, now it's so easy to just like level up. Like you're just there. And then the new DLC would drop, and everybody saved engrams. Like that can't happen again. That can't happen. And, you know, hopefully they figure out a good solution for the raids. Maybe they push them back 2 weeks instead of just a week or whatever to give people time. But honestly, I hope it takes longer than 2 weeks to get to max level in Destiny 2. I hope it takes a month. I hope it takes the people that are hardcore, you know, 2 to 3 weeks. And the rest of us, you know, are the people that aren't quite as hardcore. It takes a month or 5 weeks or whatever. Like that's just going to add longevity to this game. Like they can't just throw everything at us this time. They can't.
Yeah,
they can't. And so I feel like this is like super serious talk. Like I hope it's not. I hope it's not.
See what you did, Destiny Beta. You did this.
Yeah, but I mean, look, I'm gonna talk some good stuff. I loved. Well, look, even the chat, Alka-Seltzer. I want the grind back. Or no, she's just making a joke. Doggone her. Though? No, she's making a joke. But she just totally threw me off. Thank you for that, Alka-Seltzer Teeny. You are hilarious. PvP, playing as a team, making callouts. Like you jumped into my stream and you're like, "What is this MLG? What is going on here? Why is Josh yelling in the microphone?" And we were dominating. Like the Loot Clan was decimating. I think we only lost like 2 matches the entire night, and one of them, or maybe 3, and one of them was due to a disconnect. Right? So like we were having fun. We were having and you know, and hey, sorry for the teams that weren't working together, but like you get the callouts on point, and it's like you just kind of move as a machine, and that was a blast for me. But then that was Control. We jumped into Countdown, totally different story, right? Because it's like life, and here you are in Control where you're like running, and you know you're gonna come back, so it's and then totally different game mindset, right? So I like that change of pace. I think it's good. I think it's going to be a good addition to Destiny PvP. IGN released either yesterday or today. Survival is another game mode in PvP. We're getting 10 maps, 5 modes, all 4v4. Survival is you have a pool of lives. So say you have 8 lives. That's going to be bad for the person that's like, why do you use 7 of our lives? What are you doing?
Not the mode. Yeah, not the mode to get carried in, probably.
Yeah, probably not. But still, like that. Those game modes right there change the way you play. Control, you can play a little more like aggressively. I say Survival and Countdown, you've got to play a little more methodically and try to get your strategy down and figure out who's going where and where you're going to be able to get shots on people and that kind of stuff. And still a ton of fun, but just more strategic. So PvP, man, I really enjoyed it. So, the last thing I had on my notes there was the 50 cutscenes. But guys in the chat, is there anything from you guys? I'm going to read back a little bit here. It says Sneaky Sniper says, don't release the raid for at least 2 to 3 weeks, and hopefully hopefully you can't be max level light by the time it drops. I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys remember in D1, but I think it was for Crota when that dropped. They had one guy had gone out and was just playing the game trying to level up gear, while the other ones were going, like there were 6 of them that were going through the raid, and then when they got the guy with the highest amount of gear, he came in and did the sword for him, so that they could do enough damage to kill Crota. Like that's kind of cool that, like, hey, even when that dropped, that you had to get that level up. You had to do it. I think it's I think that kind of stuff's great. So, Reaper's Prime says, I want that feeling back that I had when Galley first dropped, or an exotic that dropped in year 1. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they gave us the 3 of coins so that people could have I didn't even care when an exotic dropped at that point, because it was like, oh, who cares? It's not exciting. When my Galahorn dropped after that really good PvP match, I was like, heck yeah, that's awesome. This is a cool story to tell later. 3 of coins. Oh, hey, I popped that, and we cheesed the boss, and they dropped all kinds of exotics or whatever. So, let's see what else we got here from the because of the amount of game that comes out within. Sneaky Sniper says he doesn't see the point of dropping the raid so quickly. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've heard the community on it, but a lot of people don't like it. But I don't.
I think the biggest thing I've heard from individuals is that because it comes out so quickly, people are like, well, we got lives and I've got work and I don't have time. Once the day it comes out, I don't have, I can't just take a week off of work to grind to be at max level for the raid. So some people are saying, oh, why don't you push it back so that it gives everyone a chance to be at or near max, whatever the max level for the time is, so that when we go into this raid, everyone has a chance to be world's first. That'd be like me complaining that I can't be in the Olympics. I'm sorry. It's just some people, the people that go to the Olympics either have or take the time to sacrifice things to make it to where they're the best in the world. And even then, you probably still need genetics on your side. So, yeah, it's life. Sorry. Yeah, it'll just, and even then, that's like, let's say we pushed it back. Let's push it back 2 months, giving a lot of people the time to, be at max level for world's first. When do you drop the raid? Do you drop it at night? What about the people that work at night?
Right.
Do you drop it Pacific time? Do you drop it like Greenwich Mean Time? Like, I'm sorry, like it just doesn't work that way.
I mean, honestly, it wouldn't matter to me if the raid dropped when the game released, and
make it light level 100, and the max we can get to day 1 is 50.
Well, I hope it's the max we can get to is 10. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Hopefully it takes.
Well, it's all relative.
Hopefully it's there and people can start exploring it or whatever, because even that is fun. But it's like I gotta get my grind on, and so just go to what. Let's see what Henny says here. He says, how many games are coming out at that time? Like, Destinot and I were just looking at like the PlayStation 4 exclusives, and we know there's not many Xbox exclusives right now either.
Yeah.
So unless you're planning on like going like hardcore on Rayman Legends on the Switch and Rabbids plus Mario, then
Crackdown comes out the same day as the Xbox One X.
And that's November, right? So it's almost 2 months later.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. There is a handful of games. I mean, like the list I read was 20 games, and a lot of them were third party, so they're on multiple consoles. It just depends what you're into, There's like new basketball coming out, new football, racing games. The new Call of Duty's come out, so there is stuff coming out, but and sure, you could dedicate every single minute that you have to Destiny, but it just, someone's gonna get left out. Someone is gonna be 6-year-old Josh, whose parents only let them play for 45 minutes a day. And
I thought you were going to say who always get picked last at kickball. Like, what are you going to talk about this on the air?
Pick last for kickball and raids. No, I'm just saying, what about that kid? What about poor little Johnny that's only allowed 45 minutes a day, It's just something, if you want to be world's first at Destiny 2, I hope you already have a team together, and I hope you've already been practicing. That's all I'm saying. Because otherwise,
I like what Trogdor said, though. He says it's about going in blind and not having it spoiled, right? And that's part of it too. There's no more fun has been had than going into doing a blind raid. That was a ton of fun, even though I made us like late because I wasn't high enough level. But
again, it's the social media world. Look how many people avoid Twitter on Sundays because of Game of Thrones or Walking Dead, or you make sacrifices. I watch Formula 1 racing, but I don't get to watch it the day it comes out. I usually have to wait a week. I avoid Facebook because I follow a lot of Formula 1 stuff on Facebook, but I don't look at Facebook that week because I know they're going to talk about who won the race and who's in the points lead, and if I see any of that, it's going to spoil it for me for like the next week. So I avoid it, I know you guys are probably saying like, well, how hard is it to avoid Facebook? Who doesn't avoid Facebook?
Captain Logan's like, Destinot likes F1. The next question is going to be, Destinot likes something?
What? So, it's
just mute Destiny raid. There you go.
I don't know. It's just the world we live in nowadays. It's still doable. I mean, if you had to wait a long time to do the raid, and I know it's hard because you want to listen to podcasts or you want to watch YouTube videos, and you're like, I can't because they're talking about the raid. And then people get mad when you wait 2 months and you're like, today's the raid show, and they're like, I haven't done it yet. It's like, well, okay, let's stop our show to accommodate one person. See, I keep bringing that up because that's the problem with Destiny. They keep trying to accommodate every single person. They're trying to accommodate little Stevie who can only play 45 minutes a day. Just stop.
But it goes back to what you said, man. It goes back to the money thing. Like they've got to find the happy medium. And honestly, I think most of the people in this chat and you and I would both say that Destiny needs to have more of a grind. It needs to be more difficult, and because otherwise the loot is not a carrot on a stick. Right. But the thing is, I saw like Destin Legary tweeted today, like, I hope the drop rate's better in Destiny 2 than it was in Destiny 1. And it's like, no, like, what does the word better mean? Right. Because you've got to keep playing this. Like, they want you to keep playing this game. They want you to be thinking about like, man, I wonder what will drop tonight. Not, oh, hey, I'm going to get 17 exotics tonight because that's the game we're playing now. Mm-hmm. Right. And so. And maybe that grind comes in endgame. Maybe they've come up with some ways that it's going to be like, hey, the story is going to be on the easy side, but if you want to hit that max light, like you're going to be grinding, right? But I hope that it's not just a like I want to grind. I hate that word. Alka-Seltzer's just going to have a heyday, but
I got a gift for that.
Right, of course, I'm sure you do. I want to go for that higher light level, but I don't want to do it just by doing like mindless strikes or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. You the other day you were doing something for your Triumph book. You were doing grenade kills or something, and you kept like throwing grenades and then jumping off the edge and restarting. Yep. I'm like, dude, that stuff. I can't do that stuff. I can't like. I'm sure the original intent of that was to be like, no, play the game and start getting your grenade kills early on, and by the time you finish all the content, you'll get there. But what about for the guy that's played all the content? Now I got to go find a cheese spot, and grenade for the afternoon.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, hey, we were going to go short, and we're almost at an hour. So, guys in the chat, thank you for being here with us. We're going to be back. For the Nintendo show very quickly. I'm going to upload these after the second show so we can get started much quicker. So if you want to hang out or go see some other streamer or whatever for 5-10 minutes, we're going to try to get this thing rocking and rolling with the Nintendo Powercast right away. So, Destinaut,
Yeah.
where can people find you, my friend?
People can find me on Twitter at DestinautTLC, where I'm avoiding vague tweets and saying what people have to say about Destiny 2's beta. Because there's a lot to be said. There's a lot. I mean, as much as we just said, times that by 1 million, and you'll get about that many different opinions on it. And from what we understand, it's not even the final product, so people might be kind of salty about nothing. We'll see.
Yeah, we know that there's people with genuine concerns, and it's like, hey, this is just a beta. Let's just wait and see. Let's wait and see. And that's not a bad thing. So, you guys are going to find me on Twitter at N64Josh. Find me on Twitch, N64Josh. Facebook, Instagram, all the places, N64Josh, YouTube. You're going to find our content on the lootcave.com. We've added more contributors, so make sure to go check that out. Captain Logan is one of our newest contributors, and he just wrote an article about how Twitch is the new arcade. So it's kind of a fun read. So go check that out on the lootcave.com. Henny likes to cover some of our Destiny stuff. So, and if you're looking to write for a website and be able to promote like your own YouTube channel and whatnot, hit me up. My DMs are open on Twitter. So, and Logan says a new article coming tonight. So there you go. Guys, remember you can go to audibletrial.com/thelootcast. Get yourself a free audiobook. Check out Ready Player One if you haven't. It's really a good listen, and the movie will be out in 2018. So check that out. Patreon.com/thelootcast. And yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the new reviews that we were getting on iTunes. If you have a second, you can do that. We'd really, really appreciate it. Everybody that's here, Trogdor, Henny, Sniper, Captain Logan, Alka-Seltzer, Draco, Reaper, Church, anybody else that I may have missed. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. And we'll see you very soon. So take it easy. Later.